Woody, do me a favour and flash your eyes for the camera. There's no flash on. Could you do that? Just very fleetingly, please. Woody, can you do it? Can you do it? I can't even see what you're looking at. Can you do it? No, he said no. He won't do it. He's purring up against me. He has to protect his facade of being a regular, normal little big boy cat. The Matrix is so quiet tonight. Look, this is only about the second time in 3.5 years that I've come out here at this time, because it's still early night, but it's the way it goes. The Matrix is up on me, and so are the people around here. The Matrix people are up on me. See, the car light has now gone off on that car. In the previous video it was on, and yet no one has been near that car. That means that that car's lights are being controlled from either inside the house or from someone that is not sitting in the car. So the car, and actually the door is open. I sense these things and I see them, so I know that that car is just controlled. All these cars are controlled by people from inside their house, more or less. And that was just proof of it, because there were lights on the back of that car. They weren't very bright, but they were on, and that was in the video. And now as soon as I turned the mobile off, they turned their lights off on that car, because they're playing possum, but they still want to keep me aware of it. But you know, they're getting satisfaction out of playing as though it's a quiet, dead, normal, natural street. Look at this. This is how a street should be. This is how the street should be all the time at this time of night, where you've just got cars parked with no lights on. They've got no lights on any of those cars. There's hardly any lights even bouncing off the cars. You notice that too? There's only very little lights bouncing off, which looks perfectly natural almost. And down the end there, apart from the lights of a few houses, which, because they are Matrix houses, they have to have a few lights anyway, and the church, irrelevant really. But this is a dead quiet street. The bus did go down the end there, but that won't come out on the video. But those little red lights that you might have seen, probably not. It was too quick anyway. But when I go down there, those buses will be going up or down from the depot. This is something that didn't happen 3 years and 9 months ago. Yes, the bus depot has always been there, and I have lived here for nearly going up to 30 years, which is a terrible long time. So I know that bus depot because I walk past it most days. It's only down the end of the street. You have to walk past that street, which is a dead-end bus depot street, in order to get onto the main Norton Street round the corner. Those buses that now, without fail, every time you go down there, will be coming up. There will always be a bus coming up or going down. And often bus drivers too coming down, which is another thing you notice that you didn't notice before. The only time in the past, before 3.5 years ago, that I used to see a bus going down that street there was when the final buses of the night, and usually it'd only be one, because there'd only be one or two that would come back to that depot at that time. The last bus, the last 4:40 in fact it'd usually be, because that's the bus that I'm rambling here, but either way, you might occasionally see one going down there at some other time, but generally the only time you would see one bus would be at about 1 o'clock in the morning when you'd see the last bus coming back to the depot. Okay, so now they've got a lot more buses on. But that's the Matrix, you see, because they want more buses on. They've put a lot more buses on for that reason. You'd see the Matrix people and the natural Earth people will say, well, look, that explains why you're seeing more buses. But even if that was the case, you still shouldn't see these buses that have out of order, half of them written on them, pulling down that street and going in and out onto a bus depot. Buses are meant to pull out once or twice a day, according to how long the bus routes last with the bus drivers. Actually, I would think that the buses would pull out once a day and then come back once at the end of their whole session at night, I would imagine. Because there is night ride buses that are separate from the ones down here anyway that take over after about 1 o'clock, to substitute for the trains. That's how it works in Sydney, Australia, and has worked for a long time. But even some of that has been changed. And I don't know what I'm going on about. I don't know what I'm trying to prove. The dog has peed on the floor while I was out there. That's just to show me that that as a technologically controlled animal, he also is part of the Matrix and is annoyed that I was coming out here to make the video. So now I can't get in the door without treading in dog urine, ruining my shoes. Didn't even see him come to the door. And it's a fail video, and the cat is in. And the cat has walked through it too. Woody, come here, dog. Come here, dear. Woody. Woody, Woody, Woody. I am nutty, nutty, nutty. The Matrix is making me nutty. And it laughs, laughs, laughs. And I'm sure some people even laugh. Do you want to come up here and say hello to everyone? Are we going to do a silly funny cat video, seeing that the Matrix is making me look absolutely stupid? Absolutely stupid. I don't care that the Matrix makes me look stupid. I don't care. The Matrix is stupid too. It's not for me to say how these things are going to pan out. Even though I do think that humans are meant to have some input into the Matrix, of course. But, Oh well, it's just me and the possessed cat, I guess. Hello, Putty. We got the flash off so we see your eyes as they really are. Do you want to come up here and show yourself, just temporarily, for another funny cat video? Putty. Up here. He's coming up. He's coming up. He's coming up. That's the most athletic you'll ever see, big boy. Even this big boy. Are you going to play me too and make me look stupid? Sit down and say. Are we going to go from what they call the sublime to the ridiculous? Are you going to make a fool of me too, Putty? Are you? Are you? Are you? Move your foot if you're going to make a fool. There we go. He's moved his foot to show you. He's going to make a fool of me. You might say she's making a fool of herself perfectly well without the cat. Well, I am not. It might seem funny, and yes, I like the cat, so I kind of smile a bit. Putty just moved his foot because he knows what I'm thinking. Because he knows that it is no joke. He knows that he is a possessed animal. There you have the movement. The movement of the legs, he will tell you openly, because he knows that I still look like a fool. But you're not original Big Boy Cat, are you? Not moved his foot. Not. See, he's shown you. He's shown you. But, you know, to the average person, they see that and it means very little. Whereas he is directly communicating that, of that I have no doubt at all. Move the foot. No doubt at all, do we, Putty? You know, I know, and most people believe in many things, but possession of a cat, moved his foot, not something that they care to believe in, not something that I care to believe in, not something I want to believe in. You're purring, aren't you? Purring because you're a happy, moved himself there, happy little entity, aren't you? You like that chicken, don't you? Do you like me? Do you like me? You don't like me? You're indifferent to me? I don't exist really to you except as a source of food? Or are you not sure? You're not sure? You're not sure? You're not sure what you are? Oh, dear, dear, dear. I'm not sure what I am either, Put. That's the Matrix, isn't it? Playing us. But you know you're not a cat, don't you? You know you're not the original Big Boy Cat, don't you? You're not the original Big Boy Cat, are you? There we go. You want to be, though, don't you? You like being the imposter, don't you? Is that right? You're an imposter. That word just come to me. I don't know where it come from. But you're an imposter, aren't you? As are most Matrix people, aren't they? They're imposters, aren't they? They're imposters in this reality, aren't they? There you go, he's shown you. Oh, my hand is so sore. It's actually kind of disturbing in a way. Of course, I am familiar with it, but strangely enough, even though I've been aware of this now for a reasonable amount of time, it's still disturbing. Isn't it, Putty? It's still disturbing for me, isn't it? still find it hard to accept. Don't want to accept it, do I? Or do I not care now? Or is it just that it's difficult? Moved his foot. So perhaps he's saying that I do accept it now, and perhaps I actually do like the acceptance of the matrix. I just don't like living in the matrix, that's all. Is that right, Putty? And you're like, why are you asking me? You know what you like or you don't like. I'm not you, I'm another entity. Putty said he likes the matrix. He's reasonably content with his existence in it. Is that right, Putty? Because this is your world, isn't it? This is your reality. Because you belong here. You were made here, weren't you? You were created by the matrix. Don't hang your head. You were created by the matrix, weren't you? Why are you resisting it? Were you created by humans? Were you created naturally? Are you saying that you're a natural cat that came into being by a mummy and a daddy cat, you know, interacting and producing a natural offspring? Or is it just that I don't understand the technology and that your God considers technology to be natural? Because it is natural for a matrix, isn't it? Or is it just that you believe your own illusion, as do matrix people and as do psychopaths? What they think about what they are and what the reality is becomes what they believe to be a fact. In your mind, you want to believe that you're my real original big boy cat movement. And you don't accept that you're not, do you? You're like, I must buy into that illusion. I must play as though you are the original big boy cat, when you know that I can't. Because I can play with you and I can accept you. But if I delude myself and imagine you are the original big boy cat, then I'm as psychopathic and psychotic, or whatever the word is, out of touch really, insane, as what most matrix people are. Because they believe what they want to. As my father used to say, they believe their own lies. Or their own illusions, or what they want reality to be. I get that. I get that because, if it wasn't so negative and so in my face, literally, I would play along with the illusion too because it's comfortable. But at the same time, those that are bigger than myself in their mind at a psychological and mental and even spiritual level, they, will not buy into the illusion and the false facade of matrix moved animals and people, because in the real reality, or in the bigger picture as they say, it's not a positive thing. In fact, moved his foot. It is a positive thing to face the negative reality and the matrix and see it for what it is. Because when it's all said and done, I've lived most of my life seeing yourself not only as a limited human being, but you can be content with that if the reality is not too negative. You could enjoy the physical things that the matrix has to offer. Moved. And I would have been happy to do that, wouldn't I, Putty, if I could only get enough of the physical comforts and and be relaxed. See, I was never at home in this matrix ever, was I, Putty? Police sirens outside there for some reason. It's not very loud, but there's a whole lot of police sirens out there going. They get upset sometimes, don't they, Putty? Do they get upset sometimes? Oh, they're up again. They're up and running again. You would have think that they would have caught up with whatever. Now they've stopped all of a sudden. Someone's playing silly ones with the siren, aren't they? Perhaps they just enjoy it. That's Matrix people and even Matrix authorities, shall we say, because they're really just Matrix children playing in their little Matrix toy Matchbox police cars like kids used to do when they were children, didn't they, Putty? I know my brother used to like to play with the little Matchbox cars, the little police cars, the little ambulance, the little, the ones making the sirens, the big trucks. Now we just have it on a big scale in the Matrix, where we have Matrix children playing with all these things at their will. It's just that when it's on a big scale, and if you have naughty children playing, naughty children, as children can be naughty because they don't fear consequences. They say this is. They know that as children, but this matrix protects its children, doesn't it, Putty? So it's like naughty little children being allowed to run amok without their parents even chastising them occasionally for being naughty. So they think that it's fine. Is that right, Putty? Yes. Putty said that is exactly how it is. And exactly how it is. There you go, Putty. There's some Aspros. My head does feel funny. I might need an Aspro, but actually it is not internal. It is external. Putty moved. What is making my head uncomfortable is not internal, is it, Putty? It is external, isn't it? It is external negative vibrations. Putty moved his foot. Is it coming out on the thing? See, normal human beings should only have problems internally. But if they are not being subjected to external negative forces, then their internal would be fine, because the human body is the natural human body at its natural state. Putty is going to move and show you in agreement that it is a remarkable vehicle in this reality, a remarkable, the most remarkable thing there is. But it appears in this reality to be the least remarkable thing, because it is being hit with so many negative, putty moved, so many negative external forces, some we're aware of. But we think this is just normal in a matrix. We don't think that the human body is meant to be able to go on and on and on, and that it shouldn't even be hit with negative forces. But even if it is only hit with minute negative forces, it will reject those forces and recover. But at the present time, because it's the end of the game scenario, certain individuals are being surrounded with so much negative forces, so much anti-life, anti that which is natural for the natural human body of some people, that it is almost impossible for this remarkable body to sustain itself. Putty moved, as you saw. Putty himself is not a remarkable natural body, are you? There you go. He showed you. He is not a natural body. He's not a natural life form. Not at all. He is of the matrix. Moved his paw. Is it coming out? Have I got it in? Because of the matrix completely. Created. I don't understand, of course, technology. And he will probably move his foot to acknowledge that too. As he just did. You saw very slightly. Is it coming out? Because I'm holding the mobile round the wrong way. See, I already had it round the right way to where I could see what I was filming, but because I thought I'll have a chat and he's moved again, I've turned it round the wrong way, so it's hard for me to see if I'm getting him in properly with his slight movements of the feet and stuff. When this happens, it's like communicating with someone. He just moved his foot then. See, he knows that I know. I can communicate with him at this level of just asking the questions. There's just noises in the background. That's why I stopped. I'm sorry, but they're not going to come out in the mobile. That's from the street. You know, they're just cars that are on the highway making much more noise than what they ever used to. That's another change in the matrix, because the cars used to come along there thick and fast, but they did not make aggressive noises. Putty just moved then, but I missed it. They did not make aggressive noises, even though it's a busy highway. They just flowed at a normal speed and flowed, and they all made the same sound, a normal car sound, or even the trucks were not particularly noisy. Now they are all aggressive because they are driven by aggressive negative entities. Is that right, Putty? You seem to know more than me. Or are they driven by psychopathic people? There we go. Okay, so I think... See, I'm learning more from a matrix cat, because this cat is an entity inside a cat body that knows more about the matrix than me. But because it knows that I already know it's a matrix, it doesn't mind me getting a few details now. Because it knows I'll figure it out eventually anyway. The cat's about to move. Oh, there was actually a plane, I think, going over. I don't think we're going to get any planes tonight. We had a few last night. In fact, I just was too exhausted to even get the mobile out, wasn't I? I wanted to. I was going to come out and just quickly come outside. But the Matrix got the upper hand last night, didn't it, Putty? I just could not manage it. I couldn't be bothered at some point, which is the Matrix winning, isn't it, Dale? But then again, I went out there tonight and they played possum, so it really don't matter too much, does it? Ooh, moved his foot. Don't matter too much. And that's like someone said to me, what is the point of the videos? Well, perhaps you're right. Perhaps you're right. There is no real changing of anyone's mind or bringing in any change to the reality by the videos. No, not one little bit. Of course not. Even if you had more people watching certain types of videos, it's still not going to change the situation, I don't think. Couldn't. It's too much now, and perhaps it never could. Maybe it never could because, even I didn't realise this, but I do realise it now. But you're looking at, like even with the... even with the videos, the type of videos, there's always been, evidently, and I wasn't aware of this because I wasn't a person who would have watched these type of videos ever in the past. No. Putty's moved. He's like, I wouldn't have watched videos that talked about possibilities of this world being anything but a natural, real world, totally controlled only by relatively normal humans. Okay, so you do accept that sometimes people who are leaders perhaps do like power, so they might have a slightly stronger type of personality. But you don't think they're completely psychotic, no. But at a technical level, they are. Because when you become real psychotic, you're not only are out of touch with human reality, and I emphasise that, or what you think a human being should, how they should behave. See, Putty's moving. But also there is possession by technical beings too. So that really means that you are not thinking like a human, but you have power and you're a leader, because humans like to have leaders. Humans don't think they can manage without leaders. And if you had a leader that was not of the Matrix or not technically controlled, it probably wouldn't be too bad. Is that a plane coming over? Let's have a look. See if I can get the Matrix plane. Matrix plane over the roof there, going the wrong way. That's interesting. Why is it going the wrong way? Maybe the Matrix is going even more screwy tonight than what it normally does, because it normally knows what it's doing. But why is the Matrix plane going the wrong way, Putty? Do you know why it's going the wrong way? Because everyone's going the wrong way? Is that right? We're all going the wrong way? Most people going the wrong way? Most people have already gone the wrong way, haven't they? They've been taken over, haven't they, Dale? Like you? Most people like you? Okay, he's going He's going full time. He's like, most people are like me, he said. Most people are like me, he said. They are like a possessed cat, aren't they, Dale? See, he's moved. Possessed cat, possessed people. Most of the world is being operated by possessed children. Negative, psychopathic, possessed children. Footy's moving. I'm not sure if that actually made any sense, what I just said. I might have got the words round the wrong way. Did I get the words round the wrong way, Footy? Don't know what I'm doing there with the mobile. I've got it all over the place. Sorry about that. Maybe I shouldn't be putting this video out. Even Buddy moved there. He said some of your videos are going from bad to worse, so perhaps you shouldn't put them all out. Because sometimes, there is such a thing as quality versus quantity. And I'm not sure if I ever had quality, but I didn't have as much quantity. It's funny that, because, I know a lot more about the Matrix now than what I did a year ago, year and a half. But sometimes when you know less, you focus better, and it makes for a better video, even if you don't know what you're talking about. I still don't fully know what I'm talking about at times, but I kind of do in my own head. It's just that I'm still missing some details of the full picture, that's all. Is that right, Putty? I'm still missing some picture, some details of the full picture? Just a little bit, something I'm still missing, is that right? Something. Okay, there you go. So there you go. There's something I still don't know. Something that I still can't grasp, despite me talking about the Matrix and all its beings and all this worldly stuff or whatever. So I'm still in the dark, Putty? In a way? Because there's some final point that I just can't get, that I don't accept, maybe. Or do I want to accept, maybe? Just don't fully believe. Is it too much beyond my comprehension, perhaps? It's just because I'm so limited in this reality, isn't it? That's all, isn't it? He moved. So even if I grasp it, even if I could grasp it, I still would not fully grasp it, because I don't experience it, do I? This is a very limited domain, isn't it, for humans?